I'm Sir Tap Tap, and this is Warp. This is a game by Granite Gear on Congregate. It has user-made levels, but we're just going to do the campaign here. Run and jump to your goal. Unfortunately, it does the arrow key up, its jump thing. Generally don't approve of that, but yeah. Basically what you do, all of the edges of the screen wrap around, so you just warp to the other side when you fall in a pit, or do stuff like that. So, first few levels are pretty much a tutorial to get used to how the world works, because, you know, you may have played games that do this sort of thing before, but if you haven't, it's sort of disorienting at first, but you get used to it fairly quickly. Just remember to watch when there's a pit. Watch where you'll come out at the top, because sometimes there'll be spikes, or some other place you don't want to be. So, the first 10 levels are just tutorial, really. You can press R to commit suicide. Only in a few levels did I ever get stuck. It's not that hard of a game. There are just the last few levels can be a bit tricky. And there aren't many things you can interact with, but this is one of them. It's sort of a mirror thing that opens up the portal to exit. So, almost always you'll have to activate that portal now. So, just go up here. I didn't initially think you could make that jump, but you just can. Oops. Alrighty, and later on the levels get a lot less opened up. I guess this is not a very open level, but here we go, we get the second area. It's full of mushrooms. I like the visual change. Every 10 areas, the visuals change a little bit. You know, it keeps it from being too boring. The visual department. Die. And those white things are your enemies. Just jump on them. You don't bounce on their heads like you do with Mario, so it sort of feels weird because you just fall straight through them, but it's easy enough to tell when you've killed them because they float up and change color. Also, there are tasks in this game that are pretty much just achievements. You complete tasks by killing enemies, completing levels, and by dying, actually. I think those are the only three things. There may be some specific achievements, but generally speaking, that's all that there is. These guys can be sort of tricky to fall on top of. For these ones, you can just outrun them. You do run faster than the enemies. So yeah, you can just do stuff like that to trick them out. You can't, it's harder to jump on top of them due to the shape of this level. But if you do what I did, it's pretty easy to take care of those two. Come here. There you go. See, we got the first achievement for killing enemies. And you don't have to kill all the enemies to complete a level. There are several where the enemies will always be in your way, but sometimes it's pretty easy to ignore them, and you can just finish the level without bothering with them. There are some achievements you get by killing them, though. Also, a nice thing about the spikes is you can walk into the side of them, and they won't kill you. You have to jump on them. This item buffs your jumping, so this level is, of course, only possible with that. Now they give you a few levels to teach you how to use that. The nice thing about the jump buff is that it usually lets you get back up to somewhere where you couldn't otherwise. Just your warp a lot. Oh yeah, you also get some of the achievements by, warping around the screen a lot. Which means you could probably just do this for like a minute and get all of them. But you should get all of them during normal gameplay anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. Right, it's this way. Activate your mirror. And there you go. I like the mushrooms and the purpley background. Makes it seem all poisonous, malignant. Especially with lots of vines and stuff. It's very pretty. Especially for, you know, monochromatic, pretty much. It's a very simple art style, but it works very well. I also really like the music. It's a subtle touch, but it's very fitting and nice. Come here. These guys you do want to kill, because you gotta go backwards. So let's just go up here, kill you in the face. Aha, I'm a warrior. Rawr. Oops. Flip that switch. And back we go. Not too shabby. Task done. Great. We are great. But I already knew that. Oh, wanted to stop you. I also like the change in music and the scenery here. Sort of a thorny... Oh. I fell for that the first time, too. Nice thorny rose garden. Looks nice and dangerous for the last set of stages, too. It's no longer, like, just poisonous, it just looks spiny and abrasive. Oh, right, we can get over here. Very good. These enemies can't be killed. This was an interesting choice of how to do the enemies that you can't jump on. They just have spikes on their heads. Which, you know, you instantly see that and you think, oh, I can't jump on his head. It just looks a little weird, though. This was also sort of an odd one, but I figured it out pretty easily. You just warp 10 times. It's sort of an oddball. No other level makes you do anything like that. I guess that just makes it a different type of puzzle. And this thing, I think it's pretty intuitive. The shield buff just makes you invincible to these enemies. Wait, how do I get over there? Oh, right. Not thinking with portals. Yeah, just walk through these guys. When they're in a narrow corridor like that, even if they don't have spikes on their heads, you can't kill them without the invulnerability thing. And with the invulnerability thing, you can kill these guys too, of course. Why am I not jumping up there? I guess I can't jump that high. Oh, duh. There you go. Spot. Here we go. Not too tricky, not too tricky. There are only a couple levels that are tricky to figure out that much. Splat. Warlord, yeah. Kill people. This is the first level where you have to decide your order of how you're going to pick up the power-ups. Though you really can't decide, but there are more than one power-ups is what I'm trying to say. There are, in a couple of the later ones, you have to decide what order you get them in. And if you pick them wrong, you're going to have to reset. But most of the levels are pretty linear like this one was. In fact, I think only one level really gave me trouble. And we have a new pipe of power up here. Whoa. This one I initially did not know what the heck it did. I had an idea that, you know, it's got to be something with those cracked blocks. But what you need to do with it is that. And I don't think that's very intuitive. Only when you jump on an enemy, it sort of makes a shockwave, an invisible shockwave, that breaks those cracked blocks. I'm not particularly sure how you should have, like, known that. That's the one thing I think, you know, maybe it could use some explaining, I guess, because I can't think of any way to mold the level to just show you off. To show off how you do that without... I suppose one way is to make one place in the level where there's an enemy that's trapped and you have to fall on their head. So, and then it'll break something, because as is, you just sort of have to guess it out. It didn't take me long to figure it out, but I guess somebody could get stuck. That's not what you want to happen. Ow. This is sort of the only tricky area here, is jumping over this guy. I think it's actually harder with the jump buff. Though the... crap. With the lack of the visual, of like a shockwave or anything, that's what I'm thinking the circle is supposed to be for, you know, a shockwave. The screen rumble is a nice effect, but it could have a visual, like, shockwave emitted out. That would show, for one thing, if it showed the range of where the impact hits, that would be a little helpful. I just always try to jump on them as close as I can to the breakable walls or floors. Another thing is, since on the level you get the shockwave, there's only one enemy you can use on it, so if you mess it up, you have to restart. If it had something you could test it on, be a bit better. Also, if you fall in here without the jump boost, you get trapped and you have to restart. So this is one of only a few levels, really, where you have to do something in the right order. These last couple levels will really use that. This one is the big one. This is easily the trickiest level in the game, and if you notice, we got all 3 power-ups now, and there's an exact order you have to go in. If you're playing on your own, you'll have to redo this one a few times, probably, before you get exactly what you're doing here. But if you just follow exactly what I do, it's the right way. What you gotta do is kill the enemies in the narrow corridors, kill those with the shield, then break all the walls with this. It's pretty straightforward, really. You just might not realize, oh, there was a wall there. And then you have to reset, because you lost the shockwave power-up. Also, these pads are sort of odd. You have to use the jump key, or you have to use the use key to jump higher. Also, this guy, you can't just jump on him anywhere. You have to jump on him near the wall. So let's try and get that right. Very good. And now we can exit scot-free. Because I don't think there's actually any way to die in this level anymore. But yeah, that, I would say about half my deaths, mostly due to retries, were on that level. Come on. Stupid jump. Oh wow, I didn't have this trouble the first time. What am I doing wrong? Get in that stupid space. There we go. And now the final level by Granite Gear, the guy who made the game. So yeah, this is a pretty simple one. It does, require a little effort, which, so, it's not a completely boring final level, but, it's not just a credits level entirely. But the only really tricky thing is dropping on that guy below the I and T here. Because you gotta time it right. Then you get this. Yeah, let's kill stuff. Oop. I don't think I'd actually make that work. Also, infinite drop. So yeah, let's just activate that. And let's kill you first, because I hate you. There you go. Good. And now the ending. Awesome. Explosion. Now it's time for the credits. A game by Granite Gear. Alien Ripens. And Molly. Or Molly. I don't know. Additional art by Linda Smith. Music by Malverin. And Herrick Falcon X. Heinrich. I can never say that name, but she's awesome. You should Google that, because she's awesome. PHP by Dan Smits. Sponsored by Subway Punk. Thank you for playing. Thank you is 2 words, but still, it's okay. Annoying thing about this ending thing here, the game hides your mouse, very rightly so, by the way, but when you're playing, normally the game hides your mouse, but on this screen, I can't see my mouse, and I have to click these buttons. And you can click to subscribe from emails from, I guess, the creators, something or other. There's more games and stuff. But yeah, it really should show this cursor when you're on that page too. There's also some user levels. Let's take a random peek at, whoa. What the? Oh great, I broke the thing. Well, this is a very odd level. And they somehow clicked outside. Yeah, the annoying thing is that when you use Congregate's level loady thing, this is insane. But when you use Congregate's level loading thing, you have to click outside of the Flash window, and you click outside of Flash, bad things happen. Okay, I don't see me beating this level. But yeah, there are lots of user-made levels. This is a brand new one, apparently. I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, that was Warp Game. Link in the description as always. Check it out, share it on Facebook, comment, whatever. It's an awesome game. Pretty short. And I think Yeah, it does look like it's made with Flixel. I don't think it explicitly said that, but that looks like the volume meter from Flixel. And it's obviously got the style of Flixel game. Not that that's like a bad thing or anything.